Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. One of this season's most eagerly awaited new musicals is War Paint, which welcomes back to Broadway two-time Tony Award winners Patti LuPone and Christine Ebersole, who play Helena Rubinstein and Elizabeth Arden. It will open on April 6th at the Nederlander Theatre, and we drop by the Algonquin Hotel to catch up with the company.
We are thrilled to be part of this incredible season, and these two women are really bringing it, but the entire company is fantastic.
I second everything he says. To write for Christine and Patti is an amazing opportunity, and they were such fascinating characters that there's some real grit in it.
I just love how you choose projects. How did this come about for you two?
This was very happily, David Stone had read the nonfiction book War Paint, a biography of the two women, and he and Michael Greif brainstormed a bit, and they very kindly thought of us for the project, and that was an incredibly happy call to receive.
But there was no play. The urban legend of these two women, Helena Rubinstein and Elizabeth Arden, was that even though they worked around the corner from each other in salons for 40 years, they never met. It seems inconceivable that they never spoke in all that time, but that is the legend. So we had to work with that. How do you make a musical about two women who don't speak? We talked amongst ourselves with the playwright Doug Wright for a year, and we found connections.
And particularly if you have Patti and Christine, my God, you want them to sing together. And so we found all sorts of ways to make that happen. Maybe they're having similar sympathetic thoughts in different locations. So we both honor the historical record, but also you get to hear them together, which is a thrill.
What have you enjoyed the most about writing this for these two beautiful ladies?
Okay, this is going to sort of sound crazy, but when I was a kid growing up in Dallas, Texas, my siblings and I used to love to watch those old Japanese monster movies like Godzilla versus Mothra, but I always just played along. I was really a musical theater kid at heart, and this to me felt like getting to write, Mame versus Dolly or something, and to get to create two larger-than-life roles for the most heralded Broadway actresses of our day. And I think any book writer would kill for the opportunity. So I'm so fortunate that David Stone thought of me for the project.
What unlocked it for you?
Lindy's remarkable book, War Paint, upon which the show is based, it was really her genius. She suggested that these two women, in their ferocious competitiveness, actually unwittingly forged a billion-dollar industry. They were so focused on one-upping one another, and they did it with such persistence, but when the day ended, suddenly they'd built an entire American way of life, predicated in the beauty industry. And so it was really Lindy's book that unlocked the material for me.
But it really is a wonderful experience to see your work come. And Broadway, we grew up with this word from being kids. It's in every song, it's in our psyche. And I came to New York quite a lot from the 70s onwards, and I have had, for a Londoner, the privilege of seeing some very important shows here while I was here. And now there is a show called War Paint, and I wrote that title.
Of course, Christine and I have a long history together, and it was wonderful to be reunited with her. And it's also been spectacular to get to know Patti LuPone. It's really been something I always wanted to do, and this has been a great, great pleasure to be able to do that.
I love the book. I had read the book way before the musical came about. I mean, what do you admire the most about these two women, Helena Rubinstein and Elizabeth Arden?
Well, I love their courage, and I love their pioneering spirits, and I love the fact that they really found ways of completely reinventing themselves. They really are the American dream. They've come from other places. They've come from very, very, very different kinds of backgrounds. And yet they took that American dream, that ability to really reinvent yourself, become everything you want to be, refashion themselves, and really completely refashion an industry.
The idea alone of this show is incredible. That this real story actually happened between these two female giants of their industry, and again to see like the idea that it's Patti and Christine being these women alone. So I think there's just the whole idea of it, and that the story is true, and that it's made to be a musical. So I think that just to get to see it come to life in the way that it's coming to life and finally see it like where it ends up I'm really excited.
I play Tommy Lewis, who is married to Elizabeth Arden.
Just that alone.
Yes. And then it goes from there. I don't want to give away any plot secrets, but we get around, Douglas and I.
Who do you play?
I play, he's sort of a conflation of two different real-life people that were in Helena's world when the show begins. His name is Harry Fleming. And he's Helena's right hand. And she had plenty of business moxie, but he's a bit of an ad guy and a business guy and her sounding board and a little bit of her little brother, nephew, son, big brother. She uses him as whatever she needs. And then there's this wonderful thing that happens in the show that we won't spoil for you that is actually really happened. That's an extraordinary series of events. But really, it's a chance to play with Christine Ebersole and Patti LuPone.
I feel that Elizabeth Arden has been an inspiration to me, really. It's sort of like life imitating art, in a way.
Did you know a lot about her when you started? What were the things you knew about her? What amazes you the most about the woman you've gotten to know?
I didn't know anything really about her except for the Red Door Salon, which I love. But just to think about what she accomplished in her life, what she achieved in her life, where she came from, the determination and the commitment and the passion, and just what she felt that was important, and then what a woman was, had a right to loveliness, a God-given right to loveliness. She's been really inspiring to me.
Being a powerful woman, it was a man's world then.
Yeah, it's still a man's world, but but as James Brown would say, it would be nothing without a woman or a girl. But but yeah, this was before women's liberation, before the feminist movement and all that, and they just kind of defied statistics. They really they didn't pay attention to culture, really, or they were able to use culture to their advantage, because really in business there was no place for a woman there. That didn't stop them.
Sharing the stage with Patti LuPone, what that means to you?
Well, it's pretty thrilling. It's a really thrilling experience because, she's so talented and so, a powerhouse, and I have tremendous respect for her. And it's really thrilling to not only be sharing the stage with her, but to be singing with her. It's nothing like it.
It's a wonderful musical. It's about two very powerful women, and we have a splendid cast. I have a great leading lady that I play with, two great leading men. I'm very lucky. It's a harmonious adult company. It's great.
What did you know about her going into the project, and what are some of the amazing things you've learned about this incredible woman you play?
I didn't know anything about her. I knew the name, but I don't think my mother ever used Helena Rubinstein products. She may have, but I wasn't really interested in the makeup my mother was using. I remember there was Avon, Avon calling. But when Scott offered me the part, I started researching her, and she was a complicated woman, and she had to overcome tremendous obstacles to achieve what she achieved. She was at one point the richest woman in the world. She faced anti-Semitism. She faced banishment from her family because she wouldn't marry the man her father decreed for her, and so she was independent at 18 years old. This is, this is like late 1800s. There was potential sexual abuse with an uncle in Australia. She survived and thrived and achieved great heights through shrewdness, intelligence, ambition. She was remarkable, a remarkable woman.
Sharing the stage with Christine Ebersole.
Brilliant. It's such a joy. It's an unbelievable joy. We are similar and different enough that we are so compatible, for lack of a better word. We're synchronized. Our voices are synchronized. And interestingly enough, we are very similar in our lives. So, our families come first, and we know where we stand in today's world of show business. So it's like, it's great to be on stage with somebody that has been in the business. We've known each other since we were kids in this business. So, and we haven't worked with each other. This is the first time we've worked with each other. So we have a history of the ups and downs of the business, and the good experiences on stage and the bad experiences on stage. When it's good, it's great. This is great.